And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a small little 20-minute deduction game, it's called Noises at Night. Oh, noises at night. You know those when you're in bed and you hear creaking and you're like, hey, go look what it is. I'm like, you go look what it is. Fine, and then you go look and you don't see anything, but you wonder what it might be. Here, you're trying to figure out what's going on in Grandpa's spooky house. You're going to be one of 4 different detectives trying to figure out who's making the noises. It could be a ghost or a rat or the boogeyman or Grandpa. It's not very scary at all. It sounds scarier than it is. This is a game that kids could play, adults could play, anyone can play. Here's how. In this game, you're going to play with 5 locations. You always play with the bathroom, and then you'll pick 4 more locations, putting 2 of the 8 characters randomly in each location. Each player gets a reference card showing the different characters and showing the symbol that those characters tend to like. Then each player is going to be secretly given an identity where they are one of the characters and a handful of clue cards from the deck. Clue cards are often going to show a bunch of symbols that the characters enjoy, and sometimes a special ability. When it's your turn, and each round players are going to get a certain number of turns based on the number of players, so when it's your turn, you're going to play 2 of your cards. You may play them face down, or you may play them face up in a location. When you play them in a location, you will get the action of that location. So for example here, gain a victory point. Play a 3rd card. Rearrange the top 4 cards of the clue deck. Move a clue to this location. Flip a card in this room from this side to the other side. If you play a card that has an action, which says play this card in the room, to force the next player to place one of their cards in this very same room. And that's it. You're just going to go back and forth. Now at the end of a round, after everyone has played cards, you can try to guess other people's identities. If you guess incorrectly, let's say I say, I'm pretty sure that Susan is the ghost and Susan's not the ghost, then Susan will get points equal to whatever round we're on. If I am correct, Susan has to reveal herself and I'll get that many points. So players have to be very careful when they guess other players over the course of the game. Players are going to get points at the end of the game for the number of symbols that match their character that are face up anywhere on the board. And they're also going to get points for each card that is in the location of their character. You'll add those points to the points that you have gotten over the course of the game, and whoever has the most points is the winner. The biggest problem with the components of this game is the rule book itself. It's written very poorly. It has basically how a lot of the game works, then it tells you setup, then it gives you some phases, and that's it. And I'm like, wait a minute, and you have to kind of flip back and forth. It could have been written much better. There's an FAQ, which honestly, this stuff should have literally just been part of the rules. So I thought it was a little confusing, the rules, considering how short and simple the game is. That being said, the rest of the components are great. I love the artwork. I like how everything here is linen finished. There's a little, this actually is easier to understand how the game works in the back of these cards than the game itself. The clue cards have all sorts of different things here, which again, the artwork and the quality here is really good. Putting the cards underneath each other for symbology works really well. In fact, there's a card in here that doubles the card above it, and so it's pretty easy. Just put it like that, and it shows the doubling thing. You'll probably want to sleeve the identity cards after a while so people can't tell which ones are which, but still, good quality, and the victory points are fine too. The whole thing is just a very nice package put together. I'm very impressed with it. Well, this is an easy one to play and teach. I really enjoyed Noises at Night. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of deduction games out there that are very in-depth and very tricky trying to figure out who done what. This is not one of those games. Very clearly, very quickly, you'll figure out who is what. The question is, you kind of want to put people figuring off who you are as long as you possibly can, to the point where you might play badly at the beginning, just so people guess incorrectly, because if they do, you'll get, 5 points. And that's worth playing badly for. Now, you have to try to help someone who you think the other people are, and you might even guess who they are. So let's say you're the ghost and I'm Grandpa, and I guess immediately who you are, and you guess me incorrectly on, let's say, turn 1, and where there's 6 rounds of the game. I just scored 12 points. It doesn't matter that I gave points to someone else and you got some points for yourself. So I like how that evens out. The placing the cards, the only problem I'll have with this game is sometimes your character is placed in a room that gives a pretty good special ability. And so it kind of encourages people to place cards in that room, which helps you out a little bit. So that felt a little off to me, but not a big deal to the game. And in fact, then other people place cards in that room, and then there'll be incorrect guessing. So it works out well. A few of the locations have a bit of a take that element to them. One of them, swap your whole hand with another player, steal victory point from another player. Now the swapping your hand's not a huge deal. You're just, I don't like my cards, give them to you, take yours. The players only have 4 cards in their hand anyway, so that's not a huge deal. But the stealing a victory point is a bigger deal in this game. So I played with that one, and it doesn't unbalance the game or anything. And because the game is 20 minutes, it works well. I thought the game was a lot of fun. It's simple, it's light, you know. Look, I'll get down and I'll play these heavy in depth, and you're sitting there marking with pencils. This one, you don't have to do that. You're just watching the cards people play and go, pretty sure that you're the mother. Yeah, I am, I'm going to guess. That's it. That's the deductive part of this game. Other than that, it's simple card play. And it's good quality, great fun for 20 minutes, works with families. Check it out. That's Noises at Night. Dice Tower Judgment approved.